Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Next installment of Peace of Mind Kayak Fishing. So trying out a new place today. It's called Mistletoe Park. It's on Clark's Hill Lake, Georgia. So this was gonna be the first fish of the day. It felt pretty good. Yeah, you feel those hard runs, you usually know it's a striper. But same basic setup that you've seen probably in the past two videos. Fishing two different float lines. Oh yeah, there you go. Too much top pressure at the surface.
Come on.
But yeah, fishing two different float lines with minnows on the bottom of each. One hanging down around 2 feet, another hanging down around 4 to 5 feet. And you saw that third rod right there I keep on with a zoom fluke in case I see surfacing fish. But essentially, the reason I run those two floats at two different depths are so that I can try to pattern the fish. I don't run with fish finders. I don't run with any type of technology like that, so I have to look at the conditions, wind patterns, water temperature, air temperature, high pressure, low pressure, etc., etc. Try to pattern the fish off that, and then use those differing depths in terms of the lines that I'm running to help me find them a little bit more once I'm on the water. This striper tows me around for a minute. Like, as usual, again, I'm fishing ultralights. It's supposed to be a crappie fishing trip, and if the stripers hit, they hit, man. I'm not going to turn them down and be upset about it at all. You can almost see me making the same mistake I just made. Don't try to pull that fish too hard to the surface. It's almost a surefire way to pull that hook right out of the mouth. Yeah, when it comes to striper, pound for pound on these freshwater lakes, I don't know if anything beats them in terms of how hard they fight. Only thing that really comes close in the area is probably the smallmouth, and they are not on the lake, at least not that I've caught. I've only caught those in the river.
Yeah. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's not too shabby of a fish on 4-pound test.
Actually came out here for crappie, but I will take a keeper striper. I will take a keeper striper.
She was tight-lipped. She was not feeling getting thumbed.
Come out in a minute. Got her. There she is. Yep, that'll keep. It's gonna be 22 inches.
But then again, this is at a time when I still thought there was a minimum limit on Clark's Hill. There is none. Not for striper.
Good way to start the day right there. I got a fish on. Yep, fish on. Not sure if the fish know that's hooked yet, though.
This fish right here, man.
Feels like
You talk about a slab.
Unless I feel a run in a minute, I'm gonna say it's a largemouth. If I feel a run, I'll change my mind.
Well, yeah, usually I do bring a kayak skirt.
What the hell is that?
They're made to keep the water out of the kayak, but they're also great.
Oh, it's a big.
They're also great at keeping the sun off your legs as well on those hot days.
Size of this puppy. That is a crappie.
But yeah, nice fish here.
Good
God, Clark's so crappy. I'll miss those so much when I when I leave Georgia.
I really gotta get my net ready. Matter of fact,
Look at that. God, what a slab.
there we go. Oh man, that's almost as big as the one I lost on the stringer yesterday. Look at the size of her.
The back on her is solid.
Fish on. I don't think it's big though.
It's a decent crappie here, you know. Nothing to write home about next to the other crappie you catch on Clark's Hill, but a decent fish. But today, for the crappie, I was moving around, going essentially from laydown tree to laydown tree. That first one came from a windblown point. From then I was on laydowns. However, there was two guys I eventually ran into here that just schooled me, man. I mean, they just put on a seminar for catching crappie. When the crappie are real shallow, you really don't want to run any more than about a foot, at most 18 inches off that float. That's it. And these fish that I'm catching right here, for about 2 hours before this, I hadn't caught anything. And those guys came through the same area I had just fished and lit them up. And if you're a fisherman, you know how that feels, man. It doesn't feel good. So I watched what they were doing. I had way too much length on my float line. So I shortened that up and started fishing in the shallow water back in the reeds. I started nailing them.
She'll go. She'll go. I think, right? Fish on.
Made for a much better end to the day than I thought I was going to have, because I had a dry spell going for a while there.
More the size we're looking for right there. That's more the size we're looking for.
Now, as the day started warming up, this is back in the beginning of March, that's when I finally started to see the bass going back into the shallows, chasing the shad. And this is one of those shallow corners. Again, I was looking for crappie, but I'll take it. I'll take some largemouth, man. They're just so much fun to catch. But this was the last fish of the day. I didn't get the real numbers I was looking for this time around at Mistletoe, but it's gotten a lot better since then, since I've learned how to fish it. This was my first time there, checking out the land, checking out the water. Not a bad day, though. not a bad day at all. So, thanks much for watching. If you want to, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said before, there'll be a lot more coming in the series for Clark's Hill. I have a lot of backlog to work off. Alright? Have a good one.